Okay, we're gonna be doing outside inspection. We're gonna start with lenses. On top we have the 5 clearance lights, amber in color, lens not clean, broken or missing, probably mount secured to the cab, 1 function running. We'll go to the headlights, white in color, 2 functions, high and low beam, lens is not cracked, broken or missing, probably mount secured to the hood. We have our side light with reflector, amber in color, 3 functions, running, turning and hazard. Lens is not cracked, broken or missing, probably mount secured to the hood. We have no fog lights, so we're gonna go down, look underneath the truck. There's no hanging hoses or wires, and it's dry. There's no leaks or puddles, and also my vehicle is not leaning from one side to another or other, and it's level from front to back, which indicates no service issue. And we're gonna go to our fluid levels, which we're going to the coolant. Okay, coolant reservoir is not cracked, bent or broken. It's probably mounted secured to the radiator. It's not leaking. It has a cap that's hand tight with a good rubber seal, no leaks. Check here to make sure it's filled to the proper level, which it's between the max and fill. All the hoses, coolant hose here, and also my radiator hose, one at the bottom and one at the top. All hoses, no abrasions, bubbles or cuts. They're not cracked, worn or leaking. They're properly mount secured on all ends. Then we're gonna go to the other side. We're gonna talk about our engine oil reservoir, which is right here, and dipstick. Engine oil reservoir is not cracked, broken or leaking. It's probably mount secured to the frame and to the engine. Cap is hand tight with a good rubber seal, no leaks. Here's the dipstick to make sure it's filled to the proper level. Then we're gonna go to power steering fluid reservoir. It's not bent, cracked or broken. It's not leaking. It's probably mount secured to the frame. Cap is hand tight with the good rubber seal, no leaks. Right here's your dipstick to make sure you check for the proper fluid level. It's filled properly. Then we're gonna go to our airlines. All our airlines, no abrasions, bubbles or cuts, no audible leaks, properly mounted secured on all ends. Then all your other visible hoses, no abrasions, bubbles or cuts, no leaks, properly mounted secured on all ends. And then on your engine and your transmission, it looks dry, there's no leaks. Then we're gonna go to steering system. Steering system, start here with the gearbox. It's gear driven, it's not been cracked or broken, there's no missing hardware, it's not leaking, it's properly mounted secured to the frame. Steerbox hoses, no abrasions, bubbles or cuts, no leaks, properly mounted secured on both ends. Also the steering hoses from the power steering reservoir, no abrasions, bubbles or cuts, no leaks, properly mounted secured on both ends. Then we'll go to the pitman arm. Pitman arm here, drag link, upper control arm, not bent, cracked or broken, internally greased, and properly mounted secured on both sides with castle nuts and cotter pins. So castle nuts and cotter pins here. So pitman arm, drag link, upper control arm, not bent, cracked or broken, internally greased, properly mounted secured with castle nuts and cotter pins. And then underneath you have the lower control arm, which is 2, 1 on each side, that connect to the tie rod, which is right here. This right here. It's not bent, cracked or broken, also internally greased, properly mounted secured on each end with castle nuts and cotter pins. Then we're gonna go to the tire right here. I like to go with ICD, inflation condition depth. So inflation should have no less than 100 psi. Check with the commercial air pressure gauge. Condition, no abrasions, bulges, bumps or cuts, no air leaks, probably unsecured to the rim. Also the front cannot be recapped or retreaded. And then depth should have no less than 4/32 tread depth. Check with the tread depth gauge, and all the tread is evenly worn around the tire. Then we're gonna go with rims. Rims are not bent, cracked or broken. There's no illegal welds or broken welds. It's properly mounted secured to the axle and to the rim. We're gonna go with lug nuts and studs are all accounted for. They're not cracked, broken, or missing. There's no shiny metal to indicate over tightness, and there's no rust to indicate looseness. Then we're gonna go back to leaf springs, mounts, shocks, and airbags. In the front engine compartment for this truck, we have no airbags, but we do have leaf springs, mounts, and shocks. So leaf spring mounts, one in the front, one in the back over here. They're not bent, cracked, or broken. There are no missing hardware, and they're probably mounted secured to the frame. Leaf springs, they're not bent, cracked, broken, or missing. They're not shifted or scissoring. They're free of debris. They're probably mounted secured to both sides of the spring mounts and in the middle to the U-bolt. Then we're going to talk about our shock absorber. It's not bent, cracked, broken, or leaking. It's probably mounted secured on top and bottom, or you could say on the top to the frame, at the bottom with the U-bolt. Then from there, we're gonna go to brake hose and leaks. This is our brake chamber airline hose. It's no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts, no audible leaks, probably mounted secured on both ends. Then we go to our ABS line. It's electric, so no exposed, frayed, or cut wires, probably mounted secured on both ends. Then we're gonna talk about brake contaminants, which is our brake drum and our brake shoe. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. It's probably mounted secured to the axle. It's free of debris and free of contaminants such as grease and oil. And then we're gonna go to the side of the vehicle. We're gonna talk about our side light, which is right here. Side light is amber in color, lens not cracked, broken, or missing. It's probably mounted secured to the cab. It has two functions, turning signal and hazard. And then in the back we have our service light, which is white in color, lens not cracked, broken, or missing. It's our service light. It's probably mounted secured to our tractor. And then we have our white reflectors. They're clean, clear, and visible. They're properly affixed to the back of the trailer, and they're in good condition. Then we're gonna go to traffic monitoring devices. My mirror is clean and clear, not cracked or broken, free of debris. It's probably mounted secured to the brackets. The brackets are in good condition, no missing hardware. They're probably mounted secured to the door, the cab, and the hood. Then we're gonna go to our battery box, cover, cables, and batteries. So our battery box and cover is not bent, cracked, or broken. It's properly mounted secured to the frame. We have 4 wet batteries. They're not cracked, broken, or leaking. They're properly mounted secured to the battery box. Our battery cables, there's no exposed, frayed, or cut wires. They're properly secured on each end, and they have tight connections to the terminals with no corrosion. Then we're gonna go to our DEF tank and our fuel tank. Our DEF tank is not cracked, broken, or leaking. It's probably mounted secured to the frame. Our cap is hand tight with the good rubber seal, no leaks. Then we're going to talk about our sensors, no exposed, frayed, or cut wires, probably mounted secured on both ends. And then our DEF hoses, no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts, no leaks, and probably mounted secured on both ends. Then we'll talk about our fuel tank. Our fuel tank is not bent, cracked, or broken. There's no leaks. It's properly mounted secured to the frame with 2 metal straps that have rubber lining in between, so there's no metal to metal contact. We have the cap that's hand tight with the good rubber seal, no leaks. We have our sensors, no exposed, frayed, or cut wires, probably mounted secured on both ends. And we have our hoses, no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts, no leaks, probably mounted secured on both ends. And from here we're gonna go to frames. So frames, we have our tractor frame, our cross members, and we have our trailer frame and cross members. So we can say it all together. Our tractor frame, trailer frame, and all our cross members are not bent, cracked, or broken. There's no missing hardware. They're free of illegal or broken welds, and they're properly mounted secured from the front of the tractor to the end of the trailer. And with frames, I would also suggest you guys talk about your floor area. So our floor area of our trailer, there's no holes. It's not cracked or broken, so no cargo could fall out. And all our floorboard is properly mounted secured to all our cross members from the front of the trailer all the way to the back of the trailer. Then from here we're going to go to airline and electrical line connectors. So here we're going to start with the airline connectors. It's not cracked, broken, or leaking air. It's properly mounted secured to our tractor. Here are our air lines, our air hoses. Our red line is for emergency. Our blue line is for service. Both lines have no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts. There's no audible leaks. It's properly mounted secured on both ends, leading to our glad hands and our glad hand mounts or connectors. Both are not bent, cracked, or broken. My glad hand is properly mounted secured to my glad hand connector or mount. My glad hand mount is properly mounted secured to my trailer header board. They have good rubber seals and there's no audible leaks. Then we're going to go to our electrical connectors on both sides on the tractor and the trailer. Electrical connectors with the safety latch. They're not bent, cracked, or broken. No exposed frayed or cut wires. Properly mounted secured to the trailer header board and to the tractor. Inside, it's no missing pins and free of debris. Then we're going to talk about our electrical line, which our electrical line should be connected onto here. So electrical line, there's no exposed, frayed, or cut wires. It's properly mounted secured. It should be properly mounted secured with the safety latch to the tractor, to the electrical connector on the tractor, and to the electrical connector on the trailer. Then we're going to talk about our tension spring. Is in good condition. It's probably secured to the grab bar, and it's keeping all the lines. It should be keeping all the lines and hoses from touching the catwalk. Then we're going to go to our fifth wheel. Fifth wheel, we're going to start with, which you can't see, the kingpin is inside of the skid plate. So the kingpin and this right here is your apron. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. It's properly mounted secured to the cross members. Then we're going to talk about our skid plate. Our skid plate is not bent, cracked, or broken. It's free of illegal welds, no missing hardware. It's properly mounted secured to the platform. On top of the skid plate, it should be properly greased, and there should be no daylight between the skid plate and the apron, which there is not. Then we're going to go back inside of the skid plate. We're going to talk about our locking jaw and pin. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. It's properly greased. It's properly mounted secured to the skid plate, and it is in the lock position around the kingpin. Then we're going to go to the release arm, and underneath is a safety latch. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. It's properly mounted secured to the skid plate, and it's also in the lock position. Okay, so for this part, if it's automatic, we're going to say pivot pin, safety plate, and security bolts. And if it's manual, we're going to say pivot pin, safety pin, and pivot pin. Pivot pin, safety pin, and cotter pin. Okay, so depending if you're doing automatic or manual. They're not bent, cracked, or broken. They're internally greased, and it's properly mounted secured on both sides of the skid plate. Then we're going to talk about our platform and our platform mount. You can say them together. They're not bent, cracked, or broken. There's no missing hardware, free of rust, no illegal welds. The platform is properly mounted secured to the platform mount, and the platform mount is properly secured to the frame. Okay, that takes care of that. Then we're going to go to our clearance light on top of the trailer. It's amber in color, has one function running. Lens is not cracked, broken, or missing. It has a good rubber seal. It's properly secured to the trailer, one on each side of the trailer. And then we could talk about our reflective tape. On the side of the trailer is 50% DOT reflective tape, red and white, clean, clear, and visible, properly affixed to the trailer. Then we're going to go to landing gear. Landing gear, I like to start from the bottom. So here is a landing shoe or pad. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. It shouldn't be bent, cracked, or broken. It's free of debris. It's properly mounted secured to the leg, and also it's fully raised so that it doesn't damage the ground or any parts of the landing gear. Then the landing gear leg, it's not bent, cracked, or broken. It's internally greased. It's properly mounted secured to the frame. Then from here, I like to talk about the frame, the support bars, which are 4, 2, 3, 4, and our cross member. So frame, support bars, and cross member, not bent, cracked, or broken. No missing hardware, no illegal welds. They're probably mounted secured on all ends. That takes care of that. Then we can talk about the crossbar up here. Crossbar, it's not bent, cracked, or broken. It's probably mounted secured on both legs on each side. And then we could talk about the internal gearbox. It's not bent, cracked, or broken. It's probably mounted secured inside of the leg. It's internally greased. It has 2 functions, high and low. and go to the shaft. It's not being cracked or broken. It's probably secured to the box. It's holding on to the crank handle, which it is factory bent, but it's not broken. It's in good condition. It's probably secured to the shaft, and on this side inside the hook to prevent the handle from swaying or hitting any other vehicles when driving. And then there is no missing parts from our landing gear. And then we talk about the clearance. There's good clearance between the landing gear and the back of the tractor, so there's no problem during turns. Okay, and then if you wanted to talk about the side wall, which is not really that big of a deal, and then if you didn't talk about the floor, you can talk about it now. And the side of the wall, we already talked about the DOT reflective tape. We're going to keep going to the back, and we're going to talk about our marker lights, one on each side of the trailer. The lens is red in color. It's not cracked, broken, or missing. It has a good rubber seal. It's probably not secured to the trailer and has one function running. And we talk about our ABS light. It's amber in color. Lens not cracked, broken, or missing. It's probably not secured to the trailer with a good rubber seal. And that's your ABS light. Then we're going to go to the back. From the top, we've been saying those are clearance lights. The proper term is identification lights. You can say identification lights or clearance lights, whatever you like. Lens is red in color. It's not cracked, broken, or missing. It has a good rubber seal. It's probably not secured to the back of the trailer. It has one function running. And then you talk about your white reflective tape. It's clean, clear, and visible. It's probably affixed to the back of the trailer. And then we're going to talk about our DOT reflective tape, 100% on the trailer door and the bumper. It's clean, clear, and visible. It's red and white in color. It's probably affixed to the back of the trailer door and the bumper. And as you see, it's continuous, so that's why it's 100%. Then we're going to talk about our 4 tail lights. 4 tail lights. All lenses are red in color. Lenses are clean, not cracked, broken, or missing. They're all properly mounted secured to the back of the trailer with a good rubber seal. We're going to talk about our outer lights. Our 2 outer lights have 3 functions, same as the front: running, turning, and hazard. And then our 2 inner lights have 2 functions, which are running and braking. And then the last thing to talk about is our license plate light. Lens is white in color. Lens is not cracked, broken, or missing. It's probably not secured to the back of the trailer. And that completes our outside inspection.